Yes.
Okay, that'd be good because it is rather low.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Donna, have you left no sense of decency?
The makers of Camel cigarettes bring the world's latest news events right into your own living room. Sit back, light up a Camel, and be an eyewitness to the happenings that made history in the last 24 hours. The Camel News Caravan presents Today's News Today. Produced for Camel Cigarettes by NBC.
Good evening and welcome to Where We Are. At the top of the news today, there's some clinic news. The dentist, Dr. Muskovec, will be available at the clinic July 14th through July 21st. If you're interested in it and getting some dental work done and getting a checkup, call the clinic and make an appointment.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tim Perry's top story 1 year ago today. And now let's look back at Tim Perry, the man, the newscaster. Just look at that eye contact.
Kids from school.
Never one to
Robert.
mince words, Tim Perry digs deep to the hard facts in his interviews.
So there are people coming in from, say, Nikolsky and going to be teaching, well, special parts of the class.
Fondly looking back at this footage now, I only have two questions. How did he get this job, and doesn't he own another shirt?
Are available at the AC and at...
Let's get it over with.
Carl, that's where it is. So make sure you pick up your sport fishing license.
Good evening and welcome to Where We Are, your local community information program. I'm Marilyn Rasmussen and this is Tim Perry. Did I breathe in the wrong place?
No, you're reading just perfectly so far.
Tonight we'll hear about a halibut boat that sank this week here in Unalaska, and Tim does an interview with Bishop Gregory, who was recently in town.
And we also have some news on Unalaska's very first salmon derby. And Marilyn, you did an interview with a professional photographer who is out here and probably has left by now. Yes, she has left. But we're going to jump right into it, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. You start.
The Unalaska post of the State Trooper's Office may be terminated shortly. The post was established in 1981 in an attempt to strengthen manpower in the Aleutian chain. Recently, after evaluating the post based on workload, it has been determined to lack cost effectiveness. The Division of State Troopers recently received a large budget cut and it's going to have to tighten its financial reins. At present, incidences under this jurisdiction are reported to Trooper John Leonard at the Unalaska State Trooper's Office. If he's unavailable, the two Fish and Wildlife officers located in the Fish and Game building are certified state troopers, and you can call them. That's Officer Donna Edmond and Jim Lowe.
Right. On Monday morning, a 44-foot halibut fishing vessel, the Comet, sank. The Coast Guard received a call from the vessel stating that it was taking on water. This was apparently caused by a heavy load of fish. The four crew members, William Foster, Bruce Robertson, Donald Rawhoof, and Paul McFarland, abandoned ship in survival suits and were picked up by the Coast Guard cutter, the Boutwell.
I've heard an awful lot about the Greenpeace boat, the Rainbow Warrior, being in Soviet waters and the whole thing, but we have the lowdown. We got the story right here. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Last Friday, 7 members of the Greenpeace organization were released by the Soviets. A Russian vessel carried the 7 to Gamble, Alaska, where the Greenpeace vessel, the Rainbow Warrior, met them. The 7 were arrested by Soviets when the Rainbow Warrior sent 2 inflatable boats with 5 persons ashore at Lorino, and these people took photographs of the animal cages and whale meat being cut up to feed the minks, and this is certainly, as we all know, illegal. The 5 began handing out anti-whaling leaflets, and within minutes they were most certainly arrested. Another crewman went ashore with radio equipment, and then he was apprehended. The Soviets then invited the Greenpeace crew members still on board the Warrior to come ashore, sending a military landing craft with soldiers. The Warrior retreated, and a crewman in an inflatable boat took the film and fled, resulting in his arrest. So everybody's getting arrested here. The film was retrieved, however, by the crew of the Warrior, which then outmaneuvered a Soviet freighter and a naval vessel.
Okay, and the Rainbow Warrior received its name from an Indian legend stating, when the earth is sick, the animals will begin to disappear. When that happens, the warriors of the rainbow will come back to save them. Although many people support the efforts of Greenpeace, Greenpeace activities in Russia have sparked anger with Eskimos in several coastal islands. Many villagers from these islands have relatives in Russia and have been trying to get visas to enter Siberia to get their relatives out. It looks as if this incident may have diminished their chances. And now Tim Perry with Bishop Gregory.
I'm Tim Perry, your roving reporter, and we've got with us today Bishop Gregory of Sitka in Alaska, the Russian Orthodox Bishop of Alaska. Bishop Gregory's been with us for the weekend, the services, and I'd like to ask first, start this out, what brings you out to Unalaska?
Well, Tim, the church usually brings me. Unalaska is the oldest parish in Alaska. You know, it's connected with the great name that is famous in Alaska, Father John Veniamino. And I visit my parishes, try to visit at least once a year or every 4 years, because visiting 84 parishes in Alaska takes usually 10 years to visit. I was here 4 years ago and now I'm here, and I must say that something was special this time. I had the opportunity to fly to Atka to visit parish over there, St. Nicholas Church, also one of the oldest parishes in Alaska. It's the third oldest.
Well, the weather here is good enough. You'll probably be able to leave right on schedule, unfortunately. We won't be able to keep you here much longer. Then you're going to head into Anchorage for the groundbreaking of the new cathedral being built.
Anchorage, yes, St. Innocent Cathedral, yes. A lady said that eventually planes land over here. I don't know about on time, but it lands here, and we probably will be landing in Anchorage today. On Sunday we will groundbreaking for new church of St. Innocent, and then I'm going to Kuskokwim River to visit my Eskimo Christians brothers over there.
Okay, and you do this pretty much every year, go to the Kuskokwim conferences?
Kuskokwim, Yukon, Nushagak River, Aleutian Chain, Southeast Alaska. I try to mix, you know, every time my parishes here and there, but it is impossible to be every place in 1 year, in one season, which, you
That's
know.
a lot of airfare and riding around in skiffs.
Tremendous cost, first of all.
It was a little rough on you, I suppose.
Just to get
around.
to Unalaska, you cost $400 just to get here one way. It's just unbelievable. But with help of people, and they make some collection, you know, to pay my fare over here. So I'm, with God's help, will probably return today to Atka. But it's Anchorage. But it was nice to be here. It was great joy. We served Divine Liturgy twice, Saturday and Sunday. We had many people for communion, confession. We had a dinner yesterday for the parishioners, and it was so rejoicing to see young faces and young boys and girls coming to church, and this is what we need.
Well, we hope that your plane comes in here sometime soon. We've got some nice clear weather for you, unlike the weekend. And I hope you get into Anchorage, have a good time in your Kuskokwim travels, and we hope you come back out here sometime soon.
Oh yes.
Quicker
oh,
than
yes.
4 years, perhaps.
Oh yes. Well, we will see how the things will work out. Thank you, Tim, and thank you for your consideration and giving me opportunity to talk.
Well, that brings us around to the Fish and Game Report. Everybody's favorite part of the show, right?
Of course.
Well, the salmon fishery in the Bristol Bay is still going strong, and unlike the Aleutian Islands fishery, where we can't find any fish anywhere, it's dropping the salmon prices all over the state. I guess maybe a couple weeks from now, pinks will show up, but from what I hear, there aren't any fish out here yet. No salmon. But herring, we have some good news from the herring people. Larry Malloy, the head biologist for the herring people from Kodiak, they monitor the fishery out here. Larry's in town. He's working out of the Fish and Game office, and he tells me that of the 3,200 ton quota, at least 20% or about 20% has been caught already. So the herring fisheries are going like gangbusters. Moving into king crab, well, king crab used to be the mainstay of Dutch Harbor, but they're switching. Most of the town is switching over to bottom fish or diversifying in some way. Our first king crab fishery is going to open in Norton Sound on August 1st, and unfortunately for Unalaska's revenue, most of that crab is going to be processed in the Norton Sound area, since it's a 4-day boat ride to get those fish down here. Following the Norton Sound fishery, where they're expected to catch about 300,000 pounds, not really big, but it's the beginning of the fishery, August 20th, St. Matthew Island's going to open up. Now, last year there were 100 boats up there. They fished for 15 days and they caught better than 8 million pounds. This year, the word is out that St. Matthew's the place to go. So I don't think it's going to go 15 days because we're expecting in the neighborhood of 200 fishing boats up there. That's the place to be because that's where the crab are. Following St. Matthew, the Pribilof's going to open once again for the Blue King crab fishery, October 1st, and then Adak and Dutch Harbor areas are both going to open on November 10th.
So there will be a Dutch season this year.
There's going to be a Dutch season, but there's no good news here because all these fisheries, Norton Sound, St. Matthew Island, at least a day's travel north of the Pribilofs, the Pribilof and Adak are all remote fisheries, so very little of that crab product is going to be processed here in town. So that's the way it goes.
Okay,
Unalaska.
on to the lighter side.
On to the Salmon Derby, something everyone's been looking forward to. The Derby has been extended for 2 weeks to allow for the time when the pinks will be most plentiful. That means they're not here yet, and we're hoping they show up within the next 2 weeks. This means you can bring your salmon into the community center Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or on Sundays, 2 to 7, until Friday, August 12th. The Pink Salmon Derby Picnic is then scheduled for Saturday, August 13th. Prizes will be awarded at that time. This is an all-community picnic on the 13th. And if you don't bring a salmon, don't feel bad. Just bring a potluck. Get on out there at Summers Bay, and that's weather permitting.
Yes,
if the
it
weather is all bunged up, it's going to be held at the community center.
Right, and you might not have known this, any of you might not have known this, but there's going to be a junior salmon derby as well for kids in grades 1 through 6. So kids get started, and don't forget to bring your fish in to have it measured.
Darn tootin', at the community center.
Right.
Right.
Oh, right.
Well, we have some roller rink news. Last weekend's work party at the roller rink accomplished a great deal. On Saturday, about 15 volunteers, most of them with previous experience in construction, sheetrocked the roller rink ceiling and insulated the building in what amounted to be a 12-hour volunteer workday. And on Sunday, most of the walls were sheetrocked.
That's right. And those of you who would like to volunteer on the roller rink project, you need not be experienced in construction. There are many odd jobs that need doing around the building, so don't let your lack of building experience stand in your way of participating. There's a job for everyone. And the roller rink work party is this weekend. Another one. This weekend there will be a taping and mudding party. How about that?
Taping and mudding.
Of the
party.
walls.
I'm going to miss it. Oh, no.
Also finished carpentry work and sanding the floors as well as general cleanup. There will be a need for lots and lots of people. A barbecue grill will be featured at 1 p.m. Saturday for all volunteers. And that's all there is to say on the roller rink. For now. In fact, that's all there is to say.
But next week you'll have some more, no doubt, right? Keep an eye
Right.
on that roller rink. I met Nancy Zimmerman in town last week. She's a professional photographer working out of the Anchorage area, and she's doing the photographs, the exclusive photography, for a book featuring Alaska. Marilyn had an interview, and we're going to go to that interview now.
We're here today with Nancy Zimmerman, and I think anyone who's been out and around the last week and a half has seen Nancy Zimmerman out around pedaling on her bicycle. The only thing different, you put your hair back in a braid. I didn't even notice.
Well, it's this lovely wind.
Nancy is a photographer and she's working on a book, and just begin, Nancy, by telling us a little bit about the book.
Well, this is going to be a high-quality picture book about beautiful Alaska. It's going to be in the same series as this Virginia book. And I'm traveling the entire state by dog sled, by kayak, here by bicycle, trying to get photographs. I've been working on it. This is my second year now, working on the book. And it should be out in May if all goes well.
And how were you chosen to do the book?
The publisher looked around to see who was doing quality work in Alaska, and they insist on an in-Alaska photographer, one who lives here. And I was selected out of all the photographers in Alaska. One of the things that does delight me is that in their series of books, and they have, at least 40 of these out now in the States, I'm the only woman photographer.
You're kidding. And all of those.
In all of those.
And a nice thing about the books is they do stay in print until another one on the state is done. Is that correct?
Yes, this should be in print for about 10 years. It's replacing one that's 12 years old now.
If you can give us, Nancy, just a little bit about your background, where you've been, what you've been doing in Alaska.
Well, I came up the year of statehood, 59, straight out of college. Came up to find out what this special land was all about, and I only came up for a year. But 24 years later, I'm still here. And I must admit, sheepishly somewhat, this is my first trip out to the Aleutians. And I like it so much, I'm going to come back for sure.
That's great. The thing is when a lot of times books have been done on Alaska, the Aleutians in the past have been overlooked. I don't know whether you found this true or not, but it's good to have you here and know that the Aleutians are going to be covered.
Thank you. I really feel strongly about this. I looked over the other books because I wanted mine to be special. And there's no way I could do a book about Alaska without including the Aleutians. And now that I'm here, I'm even more sure of that. Yeah.
What other kinds of work have you done as far as with companies in Alaska?
Oh, I've worked for just about everyone. Most of my work is used in magazines and books and textbooks, encyclopedias, that sort of thing. I've done several projects for Exxon. I've worked also with more conservationist-oriented publications. Whoever uses my work properly is welcome to use it.
I believe you mentioned that there's another book coming out that you've done, your most recent work. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It's called Alaska's Parklands. It's a sort of a guidebook to all of the parks, refuges, national forests, both state and federal, that we have in the state. And it's helping make sense out of all this new land from the D2, from all the refuges. It includes the Aleutian National Wildlife Refuge. I describe 111 different areas in the state.
Oh, wow. And we've got a bookstore here in Unalaska, Nikki's place. I'm sure in your travels around on your bicycle, you're familiar with Abby and Kathy in the bookstore. Are they going to be carrying not only this new one of yours as it's coming out, but the one you're working on now that will include pictures on the Aleutian?
I spoke with Abby today, and she's very interested in carrying both books. So let's hope they get some out here.
Scene 1, take 46.
Thank you. Thank you. Ode to Tim. There once was a guy named Tim Perry, whose presence made most of us merry. But then he left town and let us all down. Perhaps you'll contract dysentery.
Oh, hello. Good evening. Oh, hello. I'm here tonight to say face to face to Tim Perry that exactly what I think of you. Well, Tim, I think that you're you're a hell of a guy. But what I don't understand is why you're leaving a place like this heavenly place here in Unalaska and going to that cemetery. No, cemetery, right?
Seminary.
Oh, you're going to a seminary. Well, would you petition for this here island that we can get an airport, please? Thank you.
Monsieur Perry, vous êtes fantastique, superbe, merveilleux, intelligent, aimable, gentil, extraordinaire, amusant. Et bonne chance à l'école. Au revoir.
Why are we here? Oh, Tim, that's right. Tim who? Perry. Yeah, Tim and I have been kind of friends for a long time, and I'm sure everything's been said already, and and I don't know what I could add, and I really don't know. John, what can I say about Tim? He's Tim. What's he want to do? He's going back to the preschool. That was it. Yeah. It's preschool. Yeah. He's gonna learn how to swing one of those lanterns like Father Gromoff does. I've always liked those. Those are neat.
I hope that Tim holds on to him better, holds on to Lantern better than he holds on to the ball at shortstop, because Tim's a great guy, and and he brings a lot of laughs to the team, but he's not a good ball player at all. And but we keep him around because he's fishing game, and there's always a chance that you might need a favor, in case you're out fishing in a creek and you don't know that they closed it on you, which more and more these guys seem to do. They just seem to kind of make closures on the season. But hey, listen, I've got nothing but good stuff to say about Tim, and I hear the phone ringing, so I got to get out of here. So have a good time, Tim.
That was real nice, Eric. That was real nice. I don't know about you, but Tim Perry makes my bunny itch. Thanks.
I just wanted to tell Tim Perry that I'm feeling really bad because my Acha's going so far away. So we need some insurance. So if he doesn't come back, I'm going to tell the bishop about you-know-what.
Look right at the camera there. Well, I had a real bad case of stage fright tonight, but Nick here insisted on saying goodbye to his Uncle Timmy, so here we are. He's been a real good neighbor and a good Frogger partner, and what Nick and I can't figure out is how he ever got accepted to seminary, but he's off.
Well, it's Wednesday. We're taping this on Wednesday, and...
Tuesday.
Excuse me, Tim Perry, Tuesday. That's because the Reindeer Rancher road trip is leaving tomorrow, Wednesday. You've really thrown us all off kilter.
We're
and it'll be
getting ready
the
to go.
last time you can ever throw us off kilter because you're leaving and you're not coming back.
He's been waiting to do that. How much you pay for that thing? $30?
15.
Simply for that. We'll miss you.
Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Today's Tuesday.
Good night.
Cut.
Algún día llorará.